This week is going to be a tough week for Texas, specifically for the parents and loved ones of the 19 children and 2 teachers shot and killed inside Robb Elementary in Uvalde. On May 24th, 2022, a gunman walked into that school with a purpose: to take lives. Nothing can change what happened to those innocent children and teachers. Nothing can compare to the heartbreak those moms and dads, sisters and brothers feel today. Nothing can fill the void left in that community. Since the shooting, people impacted by gun violence have joined lawmakers to rally and support legislation at the state capitol. Parents also say they are more intentional at saying "see you later" as they send their children off to school, hoping and praying it's not a goodbye. The day of the shooting, we sent crews to Uvalde to gather the gut-wrenching facts, to talk with neighbors, teachers, and other people within that community, a community that was shook and broken. Sofia Ojeda reported live from outside the school following the massacre. She is with us this morning. Thank you so much for coming in. This was and still is a very, very heavy assignment.
Oh, for sure, Zach. That is definitely the word that comes to mind, is heavy assignment. I would say probably the most devastating assignment that I've had to cover, right, to tell the story, a very important story to continue to tell and to share. With that in mind, I want to say, you know, as heavy as it was for us to go out there and shoot this assignment and be out there with doing this coverage, it doesn't compare, it doesn't come close to anything that the families of those victims felt.
And are still feeling.
And still feeling, right. So as soon as we heard, when you first hear of that incident happening, you don't get all of the information. The newsroom is slowly starting to get information that's coming into the newsroom. And we knew we had to go out there. We knew we had to send crews out there. So everybody's kind of scrambling to get ready to go. And as we're getting the news of the numbers, right? So the numbers just keep going up, and you're thinking, this isn't possible. I mean, just the numbers kept going up. More information kept coming out. I think that was just devastating for the community. When we got to Uvalde,
you arrived that same day, that evening?
We arrived that evening, and then the next morning is when we were able to go out into the community and, you know, speak to neighbors, be outside of the school. And if I could describe it, the grief, the sadness, the fear, the uncertainty, all of the emotions, all of the feelings when you got to the school and you got to the community, it's palpable. It was overwhelming. And so going back after a year, looking back, I spoke with a mother who she started a group called the Surviving Parents of Southeast Texas with another mother who lost children to gun violence. And so she was also there in Uvalde when the first day that she heard. They traveled there to meet with families and to offer their support. So I spoke with her recently, and she shared, you know, even after a year, this kind of grief, this kind of loss, it doesn't change. It doesn't go away at all. You learn to live with it. You try to learn to live with it, she says, and she's also a grief coach. So she spoke about trying to teach families who have lost children to this type of violence, that there is room for the grief to coincide with hope.
That's powerful.
So we have her soundbite here.
Most of all, bring to them, and I want you to know this, a place that they can go to that they're going to be able to find when I get done coaching with them and visiting and supporting them through their grief, a place where joy can coexist with pain. And that is a hard place to get to when you're going through what we're going through. But it is a place that you can come to when you have the tools and the materials that can help you get to that place.
And she was just so inspiring. We will have more with Demetrisha coming up, is when we're heading to Uvalde. I will be there on Wednesday morning, so we'll hear more from her. But also going into the police response. There were so many questions.
Yeah.
There were so many things that were not done that later on we found out things, weren't true. In the first couple hours, we had all these reports about, an officer did go in or did not go in and that sort of thing. So there was a lot of questions that were asked about the response, the timeline. And so since then, I also interviewed here at home, our district, Houston ISD, and their police department. Have things changed? What are they doing? So I spoke with the commander there, and there is added training for teachers and staff to be ready if they are ever faced with this type of situation.
All threats are taken seriously. Known threats are investigated, and that investigation can encompass police officer. Once we know of a student who has either verbalized or posted a threat, making a home visit to ascertain whether or not the student has the means to carry out that threat or weapons available or accessible to the student. That home investigation also obviously lets the parent be aware of what was posted or verbalized.
So we will be heading back. We're leaving tomorrow. We'll be there on Wednesday. We do know that all the events canceled, all the events in Uvalde. There are no events other than there's going to be a vigil to honor all of the victims, and the city of Uvalde is asking everyone to respect the family's privacy. So we will be there to honor the victims. Obviously not going to try to talk to families during this such a difficult time.
I remember I had COVID that week, and so I was not working. And I remember watching that day and one of the networks breaking into coverage. And again, it was a fluid situation. And then, someone was saying, oh, it wasn't true. And then it was true. And then we watched those numbers just continue to climb. And I remember that morning, the next morning you were there, and you were very emotional, even on air. It really got to you. And these are the types of assignments that you never want to cover. It's why we get into journalism, but it's the hope that we never have to be part of an assignment like this. And I know just walking in, talking with you today, this is still something that is extremely hard.
It is
for you as a person in this community, but also as a mom.
Oh,
too.
yes. So I think that especially parents of kids in schools that are going to elementary school, middle school, high school, that is always on your heart, especially when you're there and you're seeing that. So I do. Oh gosh, I think about it almost every day. It stays with you, and I think that people who even watching the news that day, and we take you there, right? We take you inside and try to show you exactly what it is and what people are saying and feeling. That's our job, and then it is difficult to keep yourself kind of out of that realm. So it's a balance, but as a mom of 2 elementary school age kids, it was very difficult. I got very emotional because you always think about that. This grief coach said to us, you just never know. You never know.
Even at schools where that's supposed to be the safest place for your child.
Right. So this is a topic that everybody is obviously concerned about and always thinking about, I think, especially if you're a parent, for sure.
This is your first time back?
This will be the first time back.
I was there when school started in the fall, 2 months after this, and it was raw then, and it's still raw now, 1 year later.
Yeah.
And so I know you'll do an amazing job
thank you. Thanks,
for us out there, and I know it's going to be a really tough assignment, but we do appreciate it.
I do look forward to it because it's an important story to tell, right? And these are the stories that we have to continue to talk about and share.
Sofia, thank you so much for coming on.